Hello everybody, my name is Colby Osberg. I am a senior physics major here at San Francisco State University, and I'm just going to give you guys a little quick talk about the lack of representation of minorities within the STEM field and STEM majors in college. So here are just some numbers that help you wrap your head around why it's a big problem and how big of a problem it really is. There are 8,650,000 workers in the STEM field right now, and that number will only be growing as time goes on, because as we become more technologically dependent as a society, we'll need more people to work to upkeep our technological infrastructure, as you might say. And so a little number referring to that, 650,000 new jobs will need to be filled by 2018 in STEM fields. So more diversity in STEM fields means more people who can fill in those jobs. So it's important that we get more people into science fields because it really keeps our society running more than we think. In terms of the U.S. population, blacks, Hispanics, and Indians make up 34% of the entire U.S. population. Yet only 12% of that little minority population of blacks, Indians, and Hispanics try to pursue an undergrad degree in engineering. Engineering is a specific part of STEM, but it is a very popular part, and the fact that only 12% of a large group of people are only pursuing that degree is alarming. It needs to be changed. And so that's for like undergrad. Graduate level, it only gets worse. For master's programs in STEM fields, 7% of those students in those master programs are underrepresented minorities. And for doctorate programs, only 3% are underrepresented minorities. So as you see, the gap is kind of widening as you get to higher and higher education. So that kind of relates to what might be the problem. And for minorities, they might not be afforded the same educational opportunities as whites or Asians or other people who are highly represented within the STEM field. And so without good educational opportunities in middle school and high school, you kind of don't build a very good foundation that you can build upon when going to college and having to work with harder material and having to put more time and effort. There's also the problem with the lack of financial assistance that I personally deal with, especially when it comes to being a STEM major, because as a physics major, I have to dedicate, it depends on the class, but up to 12 hours outside of class each week to my study, to keep up with the material, and to make sure my grades keep up as well. And so if you are working constantly to keep your funds up and to stay afloat, you will not have the time nor the energy that you need to put into your study to be successful in the STEM major. And this kind of relates to this next statistic. In terms of graduation rates, all white people that are STEM majors complete their degree 70% of the time, while black people complete their degree 42% of the time, and Mexicans only complete it 49% of the time. And so, again, this might be a problem with work, where if you're working too much, you just don't have the time to stay afloat as a STEM major, and so you have no other choice but to choose a different major or drop out of college as a whole. So lack of money could be a problem, or also something that I've thought of as well is just lack of companionship, because, you know, especially in this program here at SFSU, there are very few black people or Mexicans in our program. So as a black student, I can't imagine it would just feel really weird to be surrounded by everyone else of a different color, even though personally I don't see color as a big difference, but in today's world there is racial tension, so I can see how that would be a problem. And so this lack of people of your same skin color might be a problem mentally for people in STEM majors, and may cause you to leave to pursue something else. So what can we do to fix these problems? Again, building a better foundation for lower education to help you get up to higher education. You know, like I said, the gap only widens the higher you go up in education. So you got to start from the bottom and shrink the gap slowly from the bottom, and then build up to be able to fix the problem as a whole. Also, I just think a lot of people just aren't aware of how cool science is in general. Again, with the poor education, if you don't have somebody that's enthusiastic about science and making you excited about science, then you're not going to want to pursue it in general. So I feel like that is a major problem, and if you don't have anyone telling you about what it could be like to be a STEM major or work in a STEM field, then you're not even going to think about pursuing it because you don't have that idea in your brain. But in general, it is definitely a problem that our entire society has, and there's not just one solution for it. So things need to start getting better from the bottom, and that is something that we need to work on as a society, and the government needs to put in a little bit of help too. I know they have trouble with that. But yes, I do encourage everybody to try to look into science a little bit more because it is very cool, and a lot of things, we have a lot of cool things because of it that people don't really understand. So thank you for listening, and